Coming up on this week's edition of SCS Local Matters, audit results for the June 30th, 2019 show that the city is in good financial shape. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers predict more high lake levels for spring 2020, and the 2020 city calendar is headed for your house very soon. These stories and more when SCS Local Matters starts right now. Hi, I'm Mary Jane Doherty, Communications Director for the City of St. Clair Shores, and you're watching SCS Local Matters. We bring you 100% city news with information you can trust. In this week's top story, the city's audit report for the 2019 fiscal year shows that the city is in good financial shape. David Youngstrom, a principal with the city's third-party audit company, Yo&Yo, presented an unmodified or clean report to City Council earlier this month. This means that the City of St. Clair Shores financial records and statements are fairly and appropriately presented and in accordance with the accounting principles generally accepted in the United States, and they are free from material misstatements, whether it's due to fraud or error. The report shows that the city had $36.2 million in general fund revenues and $34.1 million in general fund expenditures for the 2018-2019 fiscal year. Now, 48% of our revenues comes from taxes, 18% from charges such for services like using the pool, golf course, that kind of thing, 17% from state shared revenue, 6% each from fines, forfeitures, licenses, and permits, and then another 5% from other sources. General fund expenditures generally come from police and fire at 54%, general government at 25%, recreation and culture at 14%, and community and economic development at 5%. It also means that the city was able to add about $2.1 million to its fund balance, or as many people call it, the rainy day fund. Youngstrom noted that it's a good policy to have 20 to 25% of the operating budget saved for future emergencies. Currently, the city could maintain 113 days of operation with its present fund balance. Escalating healthcare costs, increases in retirement costs, aging infrastructure, and roads continue to be challenges that the city must tackle in the future. Every community has a variety of wildlife. Some we enjoy, others not so much. But whatever the case, each comes with its own challenges. One of the main objectives of the Animal Care and Welfare Committee lies in educating our citizens about animal welfare issues and what we can do to protect our pets. With this goal in mind, SCS TV proudly presents another episode of Nautical Tales, hosted by committee member Liz Nicosia. In this week's show, Liz is going to talk about how to take care of your pets over the holidays and how you can help shelter dogs. Welcome back to the show, Liz. We're really looking forward to your report today.
Hello, and welcome back to our St. Clair Shores special program called Nautical Tales. Here we discuss seasonal tips for your pet and talk about things going on in and around our fine city that pertains to your pet's welfare and general care. Now remember that sunlight is not always available at this time of year, so keep your pets from falling into deep depression. You should always keep the window blinds open and allow for the daylight to come in whenever possible. As everyone is aware, we had our very first snowfall. Some of our residents' pets love it, and others still require mom to take a shovel to the walkway from the house to the yard so they can take care of their business and keep their little feet dry. Whatever the case may be, it's cold and we need to prepare our pets for this so they stay happy and healthy. Now, there is a city ordinance that pertains to how long dogs can be left out and in what temperature. So make sure you use common sense first and keep them in if it's just too cold. Now is also a great time to build feral cat shelters. YouTube has some great videos if you have interest in this. Keep in mind that some pets don't even have a coat that's heavy enough to protect them from the elements. This is always an ongoing situation that comes up this time of year. Please be mindful to keep seasonal plants away from pets, as many are poisonous and some are even deadly. So just a friendly reminder to put them up and out of reach if they are in your home. Now, if you receive a new furry friend for a holiday gift and live in St. Clair Shores, you will have to acquire a new dog license. Proof of the dog's rabies vaccination must be provided, along with evidence of spaying or neutering, if applicable. Many pets are still available at the local rescue, so check there for a new pet and make a new best friend. Remember that pet licenses are valid for 1 calendar year, and license renewals must be completed by March 1st of each year. Also, if you have unwanted or unopened, unused pet food, you can still donate that at City Hall. If you have anything, you can bring it over there. Anything that your pet doesn't like or hasn't eaten, or what's left over and not used, not opened, please bring it down to City Hall. All donations are gladly accepted. Remember, if you have it in your heart and you're still able to foster a pet, your help is still urgently needed. You can feel free to contact a rescue at petfinder.com and apply there. They even have articles on naming your new pet. They have sweet and cute names, nerdy names, and names that just fit your special new friend. So check out the link for some great reading. They also have links at the bottom of their page that will bring you to pet gear videos, adoption events, and even more about the different breeds. Now here's something different we wanted to tell you about. There is an event on Saturday, December 7th called Doggy Day Out. This was held in Dearborn. Now if you're interested in volunteering for these kinds of events, you can email lthomas@metrodetroitanimals.org. During this event, you could take a shelter dog out for the day and give them the chance to experience being out of the shelter. So even for the little time they will be with you, it's just something that will make a huge difference to these shelter pets. So be on the lookout for future Doggy Day events. Well, everyone, I'm out of time, but I wanted to thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to the next show. See you then. Back to you, Mary Jane.
Thanks so much for these valuable insights. We'll see you next time. In other news, after Lake St. Clair reached the highest levels since 1918, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers predicts that spring 2020 will bring lake levels equal to or even higher than spring 2019. SCS TV recently had the opportunity to talk with Deanna Apps, a physical scientist in the Great Lakes Hydraulics and Hydrology Office of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, about the issue. Thank you so much, Deanna, for taking time out of your presentation to the Nautical Mile Merchants Association and joining us for a little chat about one of the hottest topics in St. Clair Shores. And with Lake St. Clair in our backyard, it's water levels. Going back to like kind of a primer, what affects water levels?
So water levels are really affected by, all meteorological conditions. Specifically, we report water levels out really at a monthly time scale. When we're looking at that, there's three main components. We're looking at precipitation to the lakes, runoff to the lake, and evaporation off of the lake. Those are the three main components, but, also we're tracking, surface water temperatures, air temperatures, ice cover, snowpack, snow depth, snow water equivalent. So we're constantly looking at all those meteorological variables which really impact the water supply to the lake.
Sounds like a very complicated computer program.
It can be pretty complicating.
Now, how do you determine what the water level is?
So the water levels are determined by a network of gauges. Each of the lakes have their own network with a various number of gauges that we use to determine a lake-wide daily mean for each lake. We use those daily means to then calculate our monthly mean lake level, which we report out using our monthly forecast, and that's what most of our statistics are based off of.
Historically, okay. Historically, what has been the trend for Lake St. Clair? Because we're going to zoom in on Lake St. Clair. I know that you talked about Lake Ontario and Huron and all the rest of them, but for us, it's our backyard.
So for Lake St. Clair, I mean, really, when we look back at that full period of record that I showed, from 1918 to now, we've gone through periods of high and low water, for Lake St. Clair and the other lakes. Recently, after, like I said, the beginning of 2013, we really have seen more persistent wet conditions throughout most of the basin, and that's really brought water levels to a time when they were near, on the lower side or below average to above average, and now we're seeing them, above records in 2019, and it's really a result of just these persistent wet conditions we've seen over the last several years and several months, and then recently as well.
Which, of course, are not controllable whatsoever.
Right.
Now, what is the current lake level?
The current lake level from a few days ago was for Lake St. Clair was about 576.82 feet. I believe that was as of October 7th. So, last month for the September, we were just above the record for Lake St. Clair for that monthly average water level. And then moving forward in October, we don't expect Lake St. Clair to break its record for October. That record was previously set in 1986 when a very wet October occurred.
So what then is the future outlook for Lake St. Clair?
The outlook for Lake St. Clair, just as much as the other lakes, is really to be prepared for high water levels. I mean, we are in the period right now in the fall where we're seeing the lakes, this is their seasonal decline, typically this time of year, and then in the winter, usually early winters when they reach their lowest. And then, obviously in the spring, once the snow melts and we get that spring rain, that's when we start to see the lake levels rise again. And, looking into next year, we're, right now our forecast is showing, levels to be close or to above last year's levels. It's likely that the lake levels are going to remain high at least for the next 6 months and likely into the future.
Now, what type of weather would we need in order to drive those lake levels down?
Yeah, so to get water, a steep water level decline in the fall, you really need a cool, dry fall, which so far September, beginning of October, it's been fairly wet. So that really hasn't helped the lakes too much as far as, getting them to decline. And a cool fall, just because, when you come out of the summer, the surface water temperatures of the lakes are fairly warm, and to really induce evaporation, you really need cool air moving over the warm lake body. And that's really what induces evaporation. So, you have those cooler temperatures, you can get more evaporation. And like I said, that's really the major component that's helping those lake levels decline in the fall. And then going into the winter, obviously less snowfall, less snowpack will provide less melt going into the spring. And, overall just a continuation of, hoping for drier conditions overall.
Well, based on everything that you've told us here and then in your presentation, it looks like we're going to get a repeat of spring 2019 in 2020. So we had quite a push toward doing sandbagging and all that. So what would be your best advice to our residents?
The best advice I think I could give is that, as we, as we move into the winter and then, back into the spring, just to stay prepared. Water levels are going to stay above average, and we're going to probably likely remain, close to records if we see some, wet conditions again. And, be prepared, that you likely could see some similar conditions, especially, a lot of conditions we've seen are based off the wind driven, especially it's various locations at, individualized locations, you can see, much larger water level fluctuations than, you would see in the daily lake-wide average water level. Just continue to be prepared and, take precaution what you think is necessary for your properties.
Well, bottom line, we're not out of the woods yet.
Doesn't look like yet, not yet.
Thank you so much, Deanna, for taking time and giving us your insights on the Lake St. Clair water levels. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
And thank you, too, to the Nautical Mile Merchants Association for inviting Deanna to talk on this very, very important subject. Now, back to the studio for the rest of the news. Thank you so much, Deanna, for that very, very concise report. Hear ye, make it known throughout the land that the dragon has landed. Dragon's Landing, that is. Dragon Mead Brewery, a Warren-based microbrewery, recently cut the ribbon on their second taproom location at 24409 Jefferson between 9 and 10 Mile Roads. The property along the nautical mile was the previous location for Shipwreck Brewing Company, which closed their doors last year. Dragon's Landing is noted for their craft beer and wine. The tap room will also host a kitchen, spacious indoor seating, and games. So why don't you stop by and experience the newest addition to the St. Clair Shores brewing scene for yourself? The government is gearing up for the 2020 census and will need hundreds of thousands of temporary workers to collect data. This once-a-decade opportunity is a great fit for retirees that have some free time on their hands, who wouldn't mind earning some extra income while helping our community. The U.S. Census is currently in the process of recruiting over 500,000 temporary workers to help carry out the upcoming 2020 census national headcount of every person living in the United States. The U.S. Census helps determine each state's representation in Congress, how funds are spent for schools, hospitals, roads, and provides information to guide many decisions made by government agencies, private businesses, and institutions. The 2020 census jobs provide great pay. In Macomb County, census takers earn $19 an hour, and census field supervisors earn $21 per hour. Flexible hours, weekly paid, and paid training. To be able to work for the 2020 census, you must be, number one, at least 18 years of age. Number two, have a valid Social Security number. 3, be a U.S. citizen. 4, have a valid email address. 5, complete an application and answer an assessment question. 6, be registered with a selective service or have a qualifying exemption if you are a male born after December 31st, 1959. 7, pass a census-performed criminal background check and a review of criminal records, including fingerprinting. And lastly, number 8, commit to completing training. For more information, or if you need help applying, call 1-855-JOB-2020, or you can apply online to 2020census.gov/jobs. Are you and your family looking for someplace to go or something to do in the next couple of weeks? Let our Around Our Town report point you in the right direction. Here's Special Events reporter Becky Spada with this week's report. Welcome back, Becky. What's happening in our town over the next couple of weeks?
Thanks, Mary Jane. The end of the year may be upon us, but there is still plenty of fun to be had in St. Clair Shores. Have fun decorating and baking gingerbread cookies at the Selinsky Green Farmhouse on Saturday, December 21st from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Find out what it was like to spend the holidays at a Victorian home as the authentic 1800 stove bakes your cookies as you listen to stories and sing songs in the parlor. This is a free family fun event for all to enjoy. The Selinsky Green Farmhouse is located behind the St. Clair Shores Library. Call 771-9020 with any questions you may have. Capone Sports Tavern is hosting an Ugly Sweater Christmas party on Monday, December 23rd, starting at 5 p.m. There will be a grand prize for the ugliest sweater, as well as 50/50 raffles, a visit from Santa Claus, and a complimentary buffet at 6:30 p.m. There is no admission fee. However, Capone's is partnering with Spalding for Children and asks if you could bring a toy, game, or clothing for children who are in the foster care system. Check out Capone Sports Tavern on Facebook for more details. Their bar is located at 24301 Harper. If you're looking to do some skating, the St. Clair Shores Parks and Recreation Office will be hosting holiday public skates from December 26th through December 30th between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. Ice skating is available for all ages to enjoy at Civic Arena, located at 20,000 Stevens. Kids can get creative at the Lego Block Party held at the St. Clair Shores Library on Saturday, December 28th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. No registration is required to let your imagination soar.
The St. Clair Shores Library is located on the corner of 11 Mile Road and Jefferson. Call 771-9020 for more information. If your kids are bouncing off the walls with energy, visit the Lakeshore YMCA on Saturday, December 28th from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Kids can play on indoor active play equipment in the gym, a bounce house. There will be ball play, crafts, and more. Call 778-5811 for more details. The Lakeshore YMCA is located at 23401 Jefferson behind St. Lucy's Church. Spend a Sunday afternoon at Colleen's Irish Pub for 4 Paws, 1 Heart fundraiser on December 29th. Watch a rival football game between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers on big screens while benefiting abandoned and stray animals in need. Doors open at noon and it is $20 per person, which includes lunch of pasta, pizza, salad, and breadsticks. There will also be 50-50 raffles, gift baskets, and squares to win. Visit the 4 Paws 1 Heart Facebook page for more information. Colleen's Irish Pub is located at 32307 Harper. Ring in the Roaring 20s with the Blossom Heath Inn New Year's Eve party on Tuesday, December 31st. The party starts at 7:30 p.m. and come dressed in your best flapper costume, silent movie star, or turn of the century gangster for this gala. Tickets are $60 and includes hot and cold hors d'oeuvres, bottomless wine, beer, and champagne, signature cocktails, and desserts. Visit this website listed on your screen to purchase tickets online, or go to Blossom Heath Inn on Wednesdays between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. to pick up your tickets in person. Blossom Heath Inn is located at 24800 Jefferson. For more information, call 771-0511. Children ages 4 and up are welcome to the St. Clair Shores Library to build their very own marble maze on Friday, January 3rd from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. All of the materials will be provided for your kids to make a one-of-a-kind marble maze. No registration is necessary. For more information, feel free to contact the library. Pick up tickets today for the Frosted Formal, a special needs dance hosted by the St. Clair Shores Parks and Recreation Department on Friday, January 10th at 7 p.m. Ages 10 and up are welcome to participate in this wintry dance. Tickets are $22 per person, and the dance takes place at Encore Catering, located at 21801 9 Mile Road. Tickets are available at the Parks and Recreation Office at 20,000 Stevens. Call 445-5350 for more details. For more events, check out the City of St. Clair Shores Facebook page. Visit the city website at scsmi.net and follow the Facebook icon. Don't forget to like the page to get up-to-date information on events taking place in St. Clair Shores. To write down a date or contact number for any story you've seen on today's show, click on the Media Center button located on the city's homepage. Click on the name of the show, SCS Local Matters, and you can watch our show all over again 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You may also visit the City of St. Clair Shores Vimeo page to watch segments in high-quality HD. SCS TV is now also on YouTube. Type in SCS TV in the search bar, look under channels, and click on our microphone logo. To list an event or an activity on around our town or the community bulletin board, call Mary Jane at 447-3414 or email her at maryjane@scsmi.net. As we say goodbye to 2019, let's all be excited for what the new year has in store for us. More news with you, Mary Jane.
Thanks so much, Becky. No matter what the season, especially the holiday season, we always have something for everyone. See you next time. Watch your mailboxes for a very special present from the city. The 2020 city calendar will be inserted into the January 8th edition of the St. Clair Shores Sentinel. Once again, thanks to the generosity of our business community, the calendar is published without taxpayers' dollars and is distributed to every household and business in the city free of charge. It includes important dates, a city, state, and federal directory, and a mini waste disposal guide. Many, many thanks to our 2020 business sponsors: Craig's Bar, Grill, and Banquet Center, First State Bank, Mike's on the Water, the Ram's Horn Restaurant, Gilbert's Hardware, the Crawl Law Office, Soulier Landscaping and Garden Center, Detroit's finest family dining, Harper Chiropractic Center, Genesis Cadillac, the Hearing Loss Treatment Center, P. Stephen Wayness, DDS, GFL Green for Life Environmental, Surcare, Cafe Farbella, Viviana Florist, and Christian Financial Credit Union. Don't forget to use those valuable coupons included in the calendar and patronize our sponsors too. Our final story is a reminder that due to the Christmas and New Year's holidays, all city and county offices, the 40th District Court, and the library will be closed on Tuesday, December 24th, Wednesday, December 25th, Tuesday, December 31st, and Wednesday, January 1st. The library will also be closed on the Saturday between the Christmas and New Year's. Trash service will be delayed one day starting Christmas and New Year's Day. Don't forget to put your waste out the night before, after 6 p.m. or by 7 a.m. on your regular collection day. Christmas tree pickup goes from December 26th to January 14th. Now, if you have any questions, you can always call GFL Environmental directly at 866-772-8900. From our entire staff at SCS TV, we wish you a joyous holiday season and a new year filled with peace and happiness. And that's the news for this week. I'm Communications Director Mary Jane DeHerty. Tune in January 2020 for more SCS Local Matters with information you can trust.